We spend our lives walking on this kind of invisible scaffolding. We don't even think about it. We just trust it's there. We trust that if we sign a contract, the courts will honor it. We trust that when we make a profile online, the tech will keep our data, basically safe.
It's the social contract of the modern age, really. We trade a little control for a lot of order.
Right.
We just assume the systems that govern us, legal, technological, are, if not benevolent, then at least neutral.
Neutral. That's the key word. And that assumption, it creates this huge blind spot. Because what happens when those very systems, the boring paperwork, the algorithms, are turned into weapons?
Right.
And I don't mean by some government. I mean by an individual. Someone with a grudge and just a little bit of tech know-how.
That's the nightmare scenario, isn't it? And for a growing number of people, it's not a hypothetical. It's just their Tuesday.
So today we're doing a deep dive into a really heavy, but I think absolutely essential article by Kandaya Ali called When Systems Become Weapons. And I want to be super clear from the start. This is not just another piece on cyberbullying or mean tweets. We're not talking about someone being rude in the comments.
No, this is much more systemic. Ollie's describing a really sophisticated, coordinated, abusive process. It's weaponizing the very tools meant to protect us. Using AI, using legal filings to humiliate, to silence, and basically to try and erase someone.
Abusive process. That phrase sounds so dry,
Yeah.
Like a paperwork mistake.
It does.
But when you peel it back, like Ollie does, it's just visceral.
It is. And that's why our mission for this deep dive is to move you, the listener, from that initial feeling of fear, which is a totally normal reaction,
Of course.
to having a set of practical, grounded steps you can take for self-defense.
Right. Because whether you're a public figure or, I don't know, a private citizen who annoyed the wrong person at a PTA meeting, understanding these mechanics, it's just modern self-defense.
It is. You have to understand the weapon before you can build the shield.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The core idea from Ollie is weaponizing AI and procedural tools. Now, AI, I think we can all get our heads around that. Deepfakes, bots, we see the headlines. But procedural tools, that sounds like filing your taxes. How? How does a form become a weapon?
Well, think about what a bureaucracy is built to do. It's built to force a response. If I file a lawsuit against you, or a complaint with a licensing board, or even a copyright claim on a platform,
The system makes you pay attention.
it commands you to pay attention. It creates a record. It starts a clock ticking.
So the weapon isn't winning, it's just the filing itself.
Precisely. Ali says these bad actors use fake legal claims. They use coordinated reporting campaigns not to actually seek justice, but to inflict a resource drain.
It's asymmetric warfare. It costs them, what, $50 to file something?
Yeah.
But it costs you $5,000 to get a lawyer to make it go away.
And it costs you sleep. And it costs you your reputation. It attaches this permanent record of conflict to your name. Ali lays out this whole landscape of weaponization that it blends this old school legal bullying with brand new tech.
Okay, let's break down those tactics, because the sheer variety it's overwhelming. She starts with coordinated social engineering. Usually that makes me think of phishing scams, tricking you into giving up a password.
Right, but here it's different. In this context, it's about weaponizing your digital exhaust.
Yeah.
All the little traces we leave online, old photos, old resume.
Forum posts from 10 years ago you forgot about.
Exactly. They scrape all that data to build a digital doppelganger.
An impersonator.
But a high-fidelity one, not just a fake account with 0 followers. We're talking about a fake persona that actually interacts with your real network. It uses your own data to make a mask that's believable.
Wow.
And that ties right into the next tactic, legal bullying.
This is the bait or shame thing she mentioned.
Exactly. Imagine you get a legal threat. It accuses you of something just heinous. And it's completely fabricated. The goal isn't to win in court. The attacker knows they'd lose.
So what's the goal?
To bait you into a public outburst, or to shame you into staying silent.
So if they can just force you to engage, even to say this is a lie, they've already won.
Yes. They've breached your perimeter. They've forced an interaction. They've gotten into your head.
That is just chilling. It's about forcing access to your brain space.
And the psychological toll that takes, which, that leads right to the next tactic Ollie described, which she calls technological overwhelm.
This sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It really feels like it. It's using bots to file thousands of spam complaints at once. You wake up and your email is useless because bots have flagged your social media accounts, your business listings, everything, all at the same time.
You're buried. You can't even find the real messages
Yeah.
from your boss or your family.
Right. It creates a fog of war. You're disoriented, you're cut off, you're panicking. And while you're in that state, that's when they drop the real bombs.
Deepfakes.
Deepfakes, the AI-generated audio and video. But again, Ali makes the point that the goal isn't just to trick people.
What is that?
It's humiliation, isolation, and erasure. If I can flood the zone with a video of you saying something awful, even if it's fake, the damage is done long before the truth can catch up.
It creates this parallel reality where you're the villain.
And it triggers something that experts call the liar's dividend.
The liar's dividend. Wait, what's that?
It's this idea that once deepfakes become common, it becomes almost impossible to prove what's real anymore. So even when you come out with the truth, it's one more piece of content in a sea of noise. It dilutes reality itself.
And the goal is to make you radioactive to your friends, your job, your community.
Yes.
That's so bleak. It feels like the attacker holds all the cards. But Ali's article isn't just a horror story. It's a manual. She says we're not helpless.
We aren't. But to defend ourselves, we have to stop being naive about the signs. We need to spot the attack before the avalanche actually hits.
So let's talk detection. The red flags. Reading through them, some of them feel almost innocent on their own, like getting a weird email. That's not a crime.
And individually, they look like glitches. That's part of the design. But you have to look for the pattern. Take volume, for example.
Okay.
You get 1 password reset email. That's normal. You get 50 in 10 minutes. That is not a glitch. That is a pre-attack probe. Someone is testing your defenses or trying to bury a real login alert. A sudden wave of identical complaints is a huge red flag.
It's the coordination that gives it away. Okay, what about the legal stuff? How do I spot a fake legal threat from a real one?
You look at the language. Ali warns about these suspicious communications that mimic authority. They use all this heavy legalese words like herewith, aforementioned,
Governing body.
Right. But the email comes from a generic Gmail or Proton Mail account. It's authority cosplay. They're wearing a lawyer costume to trigger your anxiety.
They want you to panic and click a link or reply with your personal info.
Exactly.
Then there's the whole uncanny valley thing with deepfakes. We've all heard the term, but practically, what are we even looking for? The tech is getting so good.
It is, but glitches are still there. In audio, listen for a lack of breathing. AI voices often forget to take a breath. In video, look at blinking patterns or the sync between lips and sound.
It's that gut feeling, that human but not quite.
Right. But the most insidious red flag Ali points out, and this one really got to me, is strategic timing.
Oh, this one is it's pure malice. Break it down.
This is when the legal filings or the attacks are timed to hit you during personal events. Your wedding day, the day you start a new job, a funeral.
It's just cruel.
It is calculated cruelty. And Ali notes the filings themselves are often sloppy, they're poorly constructed. But it doesn't matter. They aren't meant to be good legal arguments. They're meant to be stress bombs, dropped at the exact moment you are most vulnerable.
So if you get a sloppy legal threat on your birthday, that is not a coincidence.
That is a signature. It's a tactic. They want to hit you when your cognitive load is already maxed out. If you're stressed about a wedding, you're less likely to think critically about a suspicious email. You're more likely to make a mistake.
Okay, I can feel my blood pressure rising just talking about this. Panic just feels like the only option. I'd want to delete everything, throw my phone in a river.
And that panic is what the attacker wants. Panic makes you sloppy. So the defense protocol, it starts with a mindset shift. You have to go from being a victim to being an investigator.
And what's the first rule of any investigation?
The golden rule. Document everything.
We say document everything a lot, but what does that actually look like here? Because I feel like this is where people get it wrong.
They do. A screenshot is good, but in a legal setting, it's just a picture. Ali stresses forensic level documentation. You need the email headers. You need the full URL, timestamps, copies of the actual filings, direct links.
And there was a really crucial point she made about not editing things.
Yes. Vital. Do not crop the screenshot to make it look neater. Don't draw a red circle on it. Don't highlight the text in the original file.
Why not? I'm just trying to make it clearer what I'm showing.
Because the second you alter the file, you introduce doubt. A defense attorney can argue that if you cropped the image, maybe you cropped out context. Or if you highlighted something, you alter the digital evidence.
So messy is better, as long as it's authentic.
Precisely. Preserve the original, ugly, messy file. That is your evidence.
Okay, so I'm documenting. I'm an investigator. Now, what about the immediate bleeding? How do I stop the attacks from coming in?
That's the digital lockdown. Ollie's advice here is standard, but it's so important. Change your passwords. Enable two-factor authentication everywhere. Use hardware keys if you can. And also scrub your data. Use those services that remove your address and phone number from data broker sites.
Reduce the attack surface.
Exactly. Make it harder for them to find ammunition.
Okay, but the deepfakes. If someone puts out a video of me saying something I never said, my gut instinct is to jump on social media and scream, "That's not me."
And that is the trap. Ollie's advice is extreme caution here. Verify before you react.
But why? Wait, doesn't silence look like guilt?
Not necessarily. If you engage right away, you amplify the content. You are literally sharing the fake video with your own audience. You're giving it oxygen.
Wow.
Plus, you might say something that complicates things legally down the road. You need to know exactly what you're dealing with first. Is it a cheap edit, or is it a sophisticated AI job?
So you need to know the caliber of the weapon before you fire back.
That's a great way to put it. Ollie suggests talking to a trusted audio or video analyst, or at least a lawyer who has experience with this stuff, before you say anything publicly.
This all sounds like so much work for one person.
Yeah.
And honestly, it sounds incredibly lonely.
And that's the point. That brings us to the human element. The attacker's goal, remember, is isolation. They want you to feel like you're all alone. So the counter move is to build a support team.
Who's on the team? A lawyer, obviously.
A lawyer, yes. But Ali says you need a broader circle. Friends who can validate your reality. A trusted tech person who knows how to archive data properly. And crucially, a therapist.
A therapist. I love that she includes that in a self-defense guide. It usually feels like something you do, I don't know, after the fact.
No, here it's tactical. The humiliation is designed to break you psychologically, to make you paranoid. A professional who can help you process that trauma in real time is actually preventing the attacker from achieving their main goal.
Their main goal being your mental collapse.
Exactly. CARE is a countermeasure. It's a powerful idea. You can't fight a legal war if you're falling apart.
Okay, emotional support covered. Let's talk heavy artillery, the legal countermoves. Because lawyers are expensive. Court takes forever.
It does. But Ali suggests getting a legal ally early. Even a single consultation can help you tell the difference between a real threat and a frivolous one.
Just having an expert say, "This is garbage, you can ignore it," must be an incredible relief.
It's ground truthing. And from there, you can plan your tactical responses. Cease and desist letters, protective orders, or even filing what are called name redaction motions.
What's that?
If you do end up in court, you can ask a judge to redact your name from the public filings. It helps keep the dispute from becoming the top Google result for your name forever.
That is huge. Okay, and what about the platforms themselves? We talk about reporting abuse, but it feels like shouting into a void.
It can. Ali says you have to use their abuse reporting flows. But, and this is key, if they get ignored, you escalate with all that documented evidence you've been collecting. You don't just click report and hope for the best.
You're building a paper trail of their negligence.
Exactly. If it ever goes to court showing that you tried to use the system's own tools and the system failed you, that's a powerful argument.
Which leads us to the bigger picture. Because reading this, I just got angry. Why is the burden all on the person being attacked? Why do I have to become a forensic expert just because someone else is a monster?
And that's Ollie's core systemic argument. The burden shouldn't just be on the victim. The current setup is, it's just not sustainable. We're asking individuals to fight automated armies.
So what needs to change? What's the call to action?
First, platforms need to beef up identity verification. It shouldn't be so easy to create 1,000 bots in 5 minutes. If you want to file a legal complaint or a copyright strike, you should have to prove you're a real human with actual standing.
No more anonymous bots flagging real people.
Right. Second, human review. Ali argues we need to get away from the automated acceptance of these legal-style complaints. A human eye needs to look at a filing and say, wait a minute, this is clearly spam, or this legal letter looks like it was written in crayon.
And what about the courts themselves?
They're the other half of the equation. Clerks, judges. They need training to recognize when a filing is an abusive process.
To spot the difference between a real grievance and a weaponized piece of paper.
Yes. And they need to give victims a way to contest this frivolous stuff without going bankrupt. Access to justice shouldn't mean a financial ruin for the innocent party.
There's a quote in the article that just stuck with me. It sums up the whole moral weight of this. Ali writes, "Abusive systems is cowardice masquerading as legitimacy."
That is such a profound line.
It just frames it perfectly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not strength, it's not legal prowess, it's just cowardice dressed up in a suit.
And that's why naming it is so important. When you see it for what it is, when you see the bully hiding behind the algorithm, it loses some of its power over you.
So let's recap this journey. We started with this scary reality that the systems we trust, law, tech, sys-try, they can be weaponized. We talked about the tactics, the deepfakes, the legal bullying, the bot armies.
Then we identified the red flags, the volume of attacks, the suspicious legalese, the strategic timing meant to ruin your best days, and we walked through the defense protocol. Document everything, raw, unedited. Lock down your digital life. Verify before you react.
And maybe most important of all, build your team. Get a lawyer, get a therapist, get your friends involved. Do not let them isolate you.
Exactly. Reclaim your own narrative.
It really all comes back to that final takeaway for me. The systems can be fixed, and hopefully they will be, but change really starts when, as Ali puts it, survivors refuse to be silenced.
And refusing to be silenced doesn't always mean you're shouting from the rooftops.
Oh.
Sometimes it just means quietly, methodically, or recording the truth.
That's a great point. And here's a thought I want to leave you with, something to mull over. The source describes these attacks as attempts at erasure, at trying to just wipe someone out.
Yes.
So if the antidote is reclaiming your story, think about how the act of documentation, which sounds so boring and administrative, how that transforms into something else entirely.
It transforms into storytelling.
Exactly. In this digital age, the act of just witnessing what's happening to you and recording the truth, that isn't just paperwork. It is the ultimate act of resistance against falsehood. You are writing the history that they are desperately trying to delete.
You're proving you exist.
Yeah.
And that your version of reality matters.
Exactly. So stay safe out there, trust your gut, and keep your record straight. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.